Hey there everyone, it's Kelly with Kellyscards.ca and welcome to this What's in My Stash video. Today I picked out some more vintage style stamps and some textures and that type of thing to do in this video. So to get started, I love this My Favorite Things, and I've got a couple of them here. This one here is called the Distressed Patterns, and I love the patterns that are on this. A lot of paint splotches, and I use this one quite a lot. This one I use a lot, as well as this one. I really love the delicateness of these splatters and these lines. In this card here, I used the stamp there and the little splotches there, and love how that added to that card. I really love this set and I use it quite often. This one here, there's tons of these. This is from Kaisercraft. This one, I hope I'm saying it right, is Hessian, and it's got that pattern, and this is great for vintage things, just adding a little bit of texture, and that you can do embossing with this, of course, because it's a stamp, but there are tons made by Kaisercraft with these smaller pattern stamps, and I just love that. Now the next one here, I'm going to show you, I don't know who this stamp is. Now the reason why I'm still showing is, one, it's in my stash, but there are so many stamp sets that people are done with and they'll sell and buy in these buy and sell scrap and craft groups. And this is where I got this stamp set from. And again, there's so many great stamp sets, not just the new ones that are coming out on the market, but even ones that other people have used a couple times and now they're selling to you. Look at this great set. There are so many French things on here to add to any of my France cards or my Paris albums. You've got basically the Eiffel Tower there and the fleur-de-lis and some words in French, and this little postcard is cute. Again, this little kind of suitcase type thing, and there's another one there, and a little clock and wine. There's so many fun things on this stamp set, and I probably didn't pay too much for it because, again, it was from a buy and sell group. Keep your eye out. There's some really great stuff out there. And as well, I have this one here. This is also, I cut this off of another set because I wasn't using any of the other ones, but there's this big postcard. And there's so many stamps made by companies like this with the postcard, and I've had this one for a while. Again, I'm not sure who the company was, but that is the only one I saved out of that whole set. And this one here is a rubberback stamp, and this one is from Stampendous. This is definitely an older stamp as well, and just love this postcard with the little stamp there and the little words, and this is really cute to add to anything as well. So I have that one as well. Going into another one here that I got through a trade, and again, I'm not sure who the company is, but again, look at the great stamps that you can find. This one has a postcard and this little compass, a globe, some stamps and keys, and of course some postal type things. This first class, which is really great for an envelope, this cute camera, and of course this suitcase. And again, I always keep my eye out when people are selling things kind of like this, because I have a lot of vintage and Paris travel type things that I like to do, and this really adds to it. Now the rest of these stamps are all from Tim Holtz, and unfortunately I didn't keep any of my packaging for this, but I've had these at least, I don't know, probably since they first came out, and I was really into a lot of the Tim Holtz stuff, and I did a lot of the competitions with the Grungy Awards and the Distress Awards, and I use these a lot. But I've kept these ones because these are some of my more favorite stamps of his, and this one has this sentiment: in dreams we catch glimpses of our life larger than our own. It's got a couple of these flourish elements, flowery elements, some butterflies and a bird. And this one has this little sentiment quote here: imagination is more important than knowledge. For while knowledge defines all we currently know and understand, imagination leads us to all we might yet discover and create. And that's so true with crafting and everything. Going into another one of these ATC Tim Holtz sets, and again, these ones are older. I have seen a couple of these sold at the Michaels, so you can keep your eye out there. This one's got a couple different, again, the floral and basically textures and patterns. Has a couple sentiments. It's the little things that make life big, which is a really great sentiment for a baby card. And then this one here says, live in the moment and make it so beautiful that it will be worth remembering. And that's a really great sentiment there. And again, the other stamps on there. This one here is probably well known to a lot of people with these images, this little clock image, and of course this guy with the umbrella. Live the life you've imagined, and you've got also a bunch of tickets here, some bingo numbers, and then of course a nice sentiment here, sentiment quote saying, to be all that is possible, we must attempt the impossible. To be all that we can be, we must dream of being more. So some really great inspirational phrases on these stamp sets here. And there's just a couple more of these Tim Holtz sets. I used to have them all, but I did sell a bunch of them that I really didn't find that I was using. So on this set here, we've got this kind of grid, which is really fun to add to cards for a little bit of texture in behind. This great bingo card, enjoy the journey, this bike, this admit one ticket, of course this jalopy, this clock, and it's got this longer phrase, time is a companion that goes with us on the journey. It reminds us to cherish each moment because it will never come again. What we leave behind is not as important as how we have lived. So that's a great sentiment quote there. And then the last one here, I love this. This looks really great on a lot of vintage things in behind if you do it lightly and then layer on top. And I've got this stamp and this fun flourish. This word artist, which is pretty nice. I'm sure a lot of people really like that stamp there. And then of course this Eiffel Tower mixed with this postal, and then of course some pattern there. So I have a lot of these vintagey type stamps, and some of them I've had absolutely forever, but I still have them because I still use them. And again, keep your eye out on some of the for sale groups because you never know what you can find. And even if you don't know the name of the set, if you love the stamps, it's worth buying and getting. So I hope you enjoyed this What's in My Stash video. You can check out the other videos in this list. The playlist will be linked down below. You can check me out on my website at Kellyscards.ca. You can subscribe for more videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.